At Richon Planning, we put together plans for our clients to try to figure out how to optimize each and every dollar. And for some people, it makes sense to just keep money over in the tax deferred side. For some people, it makes sense to do Roth conversions and contributions.
Peter, hello, good to see you. Welcome back, everyone. This video is for everyone who is under 59 and a half and considering a Roth conversion. We have some important information so you can avoid a penalty. If you're under 59 and a half, Roth conversions can still be a very powerful tax strategy, but only if you handle the tax bill correctly. So one wrong move and you could trigger a 10% early withdrawal penalty. Peter, why is paying the conversion taxes with outside after tax money so important for investors who are under that 59 and a half number?
Well, if you pay the tax with dollars from the conversion itself. So in other words, a conversion is when you have saved money and deferred taxes in like a 401k or IRA on one hand. The conversion process is taking those dollars and moving them from your left pocket where you have not yet paid tax over to your right pocket, the Roth, where all the money that goes into that pocket is after tax and then grows tax-free. So that's the real benefit. The benefit is not in the conversion itself. The benefit is in the growth that happens after you make the conversion. But if you're younger than 59 and a half and you pay the tax, which must be paid when you convert the money, if you pay that out of the amount you convert, then that is considered an early pre-59 and a half withdrawal. And not only would you be taxed, but then you would owe that additional 10% penalty.
Yikes, that is no fun. So again, that 10% penalty, that can be significant. Why do you think this catches people off guard?
Well, I mean, in full transparency, once upon a time, it caught me off guard and didn't fully realize that. Now I was able to get that corrected and squared away, but it definitely gave me a clear understanding of why we would want to avoid this at all cost because it's unnecessary. So we would want to avoid the penalty. We always want to avoid penalties, right? The tax alone is expense enough. We don't want to pay extra for doing it wrong or paying taxes wrong. And if you compare the growth that would happen inside of the Roth with the money that you would use to pay the tax, which is outside the Roth, if that money that's in the bank, for instance, grows over the years, you owe tax on that growth again. Whereas if the money gets over to the Roth and grows from there, all of that growth is tax-free. And so growth is actually more valuable on the money inside of the Roth. That's another reason why we would want to pay the taxes with outside money. And I think this catches people off guard because they don't actually take the money. Right? Is that people think that, oh, well, I'm only going to be penalized if I withdraw the money before 59 and a half, not if I choose to use it to pay taxes.
Right.
And that's incorrect because technically, if you use the money to pay taxes, you've taken it out of the account and then sent it to the IRS. The final destination that it went to the IRS didn't matter. It's the act of removing the dollars is considered that pre-59 and a half withdrawal. I don't know why they chose 59 and a half. Seems odd to me, but that is the age. And if you use the money inside of the IRA to pay the taxes before that age, then it is considered a penalized withdrawal, an ineligible pre-59 and a half withdrawal. And you not only owe tax on it, but also the 10% penalty.
And again, because I feel like Roth conversions, everybody's trying to crunch the numbers to determine if it makes sense for them financially. So how do you help younger clients determine whether they are in the right financial position to cover those taxes out of pocket?
Well, it's part of the plan, right? At Richon Planning, we put together plans for our clients to try to figure out how to optimize each and every dollar. And for some people, it makes sense to just keep money over in the tax deferred side. For some people, it makes sense to do Roth conversions and contributions. For some people over the age of 59 and a half, there's kind of a good, better, best for where to pay the taxes out of. But if you're younger than 59 and a half, there's kind of only one solution. If you are in a place where we have determined it makes sense to make Roth conversions. And again, that step's not for everyone. But if it is you, then we figure out, how to pay those taxes. Those taxes need to be paid with after-tax dollars. So it's really just a matter of, not only are you maxing out all of your other investment opportunities to get dollars straight away put into the right accounts, but then do you have some extra that you could pay the tax on conversions with? And I also talk to people who are trying to make backdoor conversions, that we've got to work through these same equations, crunch these same numbers, and a lot of times it actually just makes sense that you've got some opportunity to save some extra dollars over here, or you've got some existing IRA dollars over here. Why don't we convert those first? Because that's another kind of order of operations priority, good, better, best kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. So, not to bury the lead, but maybe, Peter, somebody's watching this. Why is everybody talking about Roth conversions? Why does this seem to be the topic du jour today? Why is now the time for most people to consider converting that money?
Well, I think it's because it's a great opportunity. And you probably have heard the old saying, when opportunity knocks, right? You got to open the door and take advantage of that opportunity. We are not promised to have this opportunity forever and ever. In fact, they have already changed some of the rules on Roth conversions and contributions in the past, and they could again into the future. So we've got to take advantage of opportunities when we have them available. I mean, we've got historically low tax rates right now. We've got record high debt and deficit, 38 trillion, and still clocking, and incredibly fast. That money eventually is going to turn into future taxes. So I really don't talk to anyone who thinks that taxes are going to stay as low as they are forever. Almost to the person, every person I talk to thinks taxes are going to go up. Not only that, Erin, it is controlling an uncontrollable variable and risk. And so much of our outcome in our financial lives is determined by the level of control that we take over variables and risks. And what I mean by that is taxes are a variable. Taxes are a risk. And prepaying those taxes into an account where you'll never be responsible to pay taxes again is determining your outcome. It's also the equivalent of saving even more for retirement when you prepay those taxes. So I think for any number of reasons we could talk about, the Roth is a great concept. And by the way, it's a great concept at almost any age, depending on and determined by your goals. I don't think there's ever a time where you're too young to Roth. I don't even think there's ever a time when you're too old to Roth, but you do need to have a really firm, concrete conversation about why are we doing this? What do we hope to accomplish out of it? It could be that you want to disinherit the IRS from your legacy. That is a goal that I talk to for many, that they just want to prepay the taxes for their beneficiaries. What a fantastic gift. And then for others, it's I want to make sure to save and build as much tax-free income for myself in retirement as possible. So it really depends, but I think that either way, and in all cases, the reason why it's such a hot topic right now is for the perfect storm of opportunity plus an attractive environment to do it within, with the tax rates so low, and looking at that debt and deficit scares me to death. I don't know about everybody else listening, but that's a scary fact out there.
Absolutely. I break out into a cold sweat each time I see that. No, it's a great point and a good reminder for everybody to crunch the numbers, see if it makes sense, and again, make sure that we are avoiding those penalties. Because yes, it's a bitter pill to swallow to pay those taxes, but certainly we don't want any penalties on top of that. So Peter, if somebody would like to sit down with you and figure this all out, what's the best way to reach you?
Give me a call, 919-300-5886 at Richon Planning. You can also visit richonplanning.com. Again, this is a conversation that is important, and I think a great opportunity, but an opportunity to seize upon if it's right for you. And we have those conversations to figure out if it is right for you. And if so, how much and when. And a lot of times you don't do this all in one fell swoop. You do this over the course of several years. And so that is a process that we take on and take along with our clients at Richon Planning. So again, if you'd like to get that plan put together, talk about how to optimize each and every dollar, give me a call, 919-300-5886, 919-300-5886. And you're right, Erin, the taxes and the penalties, a tax is a fee for doing things right. A penalty is a fee for doing things wrong. You don't want to combine both of them into one.
No, well said. Peter, thank you for your time today.
All right. Thanks, Erin. Hey folks, Peter Richon here with Richon Planning. So glad that you are enjoying the podcast, Planning Matters Radio. One of the tools that we've put out there that people really seem to appreciate and really are finding of value is at 919retired.com. It is your retirement tax bill calculator. If you've got any kind of retirement account, your tax deferred, 401k or IRA, this is the website, this is the resource where you can go, you can plug in your own numbers, your information, you can slide the tool calculator up and down for your tax rate or your amount of savings and see what your tax bill is likely to be if you default and defer to the IRS's plan versus what you could potentially bring that tax bill down to. A lot of times it is a very significant savings. So if you have not yet, go to the website 919retired.com, run your numbers on the retirement tax bill calculator.
This has been Planning Matters Radio.
The content of this radio show is provided for informational purposes only and is not a solicitation or recommendation of any investment strategy. You are encouraged to seek investment, tax, or legal advice from an independent professional advisor. Any investments and/or investment strategies mentioned involve risk, including the possible loss of principal. Advisory services offered through Brookzone Capital Management, a registered investment advisor.
Fiduciary duty extends solely to investment advisory advice and does not extend to other activities such as insurance or broker-dealer services. Advisory clients are charged a quarterly fee for assets under management, while insurance products pay a commission, which may result in a conflict of interest regarding compensation.